This saree draping tutorial is really easy to do. It's very easy to wear, great for lightweight sarees. So taking the saree in your hand, lay it, always face the mirror when you're doing this, lay it across. So from right to left, stand still and straight, so stand tall. And just lay that so that the saree just touches the floor and tuck in. When you tuck in, make sure the material you've tucked in is nice and flat too, and that will give you a nice flat edge to your stomach. Then turn around and bring the fabric round to the front again. Okay, if I did that too fast, so I'll do it again. Then turning towards my right, I'm going to hold the fabric in my hand, switch the fabric round to my other hand behind me, still look in the mirror, and just draping it so that the saree just touches the floor. They don't call them floor dusters for nothing. Hold that nice against your bum. Got a little crease there, you see, just there. And when you're happy with the way it's draped, you can tuck in. I'm not pulling too tightly, I'm not leaving it completely loose either. You know, when you're pulling across, you don't want to pull it too tightly. Because if you pull it too tightly, then you'll start to find this creases up like that at the back. And if you leave it too loose, then obviously that's not a great look either. A little bit gathered around here. Let's bring it forth. So run the top edge along your hands until you get to the very outer corner. Then drape that around your body and bring it to the front again. And then taking that shorter edge, you want to then pile the pleats on top of this. Gather them all up and place roughly on your shoulder at the desired length. So when you bring the saree round, you'll get this loop in the front now. And don't worry if you don't get this first time round, practice makes perfect. Before you do anything with it, just drape it the way you want first. And then bring this round and pin down. So the shape that's created at the back is this beautiful fall. When you pin up all the pleats on the shoulder, you can get a lot of gathering here, and that increases if you have your petticoat higher. So I'm bringing mine really low. I kind of bring that to about my navel here. Just going to grab and pin that in. Remember, although we don't like to follow many rules when it comes to makeup and saree pinning, we like to do things our own way. Generally though, when you pleat a saree, you fold in to where the bulla is falling. So I'm going to grab my pleats here and start making smallish pleats. I like doing small pleats because you get more of a flare at the bottom, but some people are very comfortable doing big pleats, that's fine too. My hands are small as well, so if I do big pleats I have to do it with 2 hands. And I said this in my other saree draping videos, when you pleat, make sure that all these pleats are exact height and length on both sides, because otherwise they will come through at the bottom of the saree and you'll see them. At this point you can pin through this if you want to, I don't really need to. Holding the pleats up, give them a good shake so that, you know, any material at the bottom that's not quite that's turned over, or you know, not quite at the right place where it should be, you know, they then straighten out, as you can see from the bottom. I like to hold this area too, and then push all this through the petticoat. And I've tied my petticoat quite tightly today. Reach in and fan out the material so that you don't look like you've got a pregnant belly. That looks really dodgy, I know. Okay, now here where you've got this little puffy bit, it doesn't matter too much, it won't show with this style, but you can just move this around until you're happy with it. But it tends to get hidden anyway. Okay. Now you can see why I pinned this to begin with. You can see that the border is displayed quite nicely and it finishes off beautifully. Mine's a little bit loose. You can do one of two things, either pull it back this way or pin that in that way. It really doesn't matter, but I'm going to pull it up this way. Now take this off your shoulder. You can now drape it around your body. I'm going to drape it across. I always have mine typically under my bust, but I should get with the times. I'm a bit old-fashioned when it comes to that. I either go completely modest or completely out there with the blouse. There's no telling what I'll do. Take a small pin, mine's massive, just because that's all I could find, and then pin that to the back of your blouse. This then goes over the arm. You just pick up the material as you want it to fall. I really wish I'd ironed this. And hold the rest of the saree in the crook of your elbow like this. So you walk around all evening like that. That's how it looks on the back. You can see that, you know, it's got a nicer shape. You don't get all those ruffles and gathers up here. This is great for if you're like me and kids are growing up, they don't need to be carried, and you know, you can be a bit more freer. It's also great if you don't have kids, but when you've got young ones and you've got to hold them and feed them and things like that, then it gets a bit awkward to wear your saree like this. You see that the saree gives a nice pear shape to the figure. That doesn't sound right, but it gives a nice womanly shape to the body. If your saree is too heavy, you can actually gather these up right here, just literally gather the material here, and if you can manage to get the border right, if you can manage to gather all the material up around here and just put a safety pin here, that will keep the weight of the saree up here and not keep constantly bringing it down over your arm. Obviously, when you do move your arm, you learn to move your wrist so that the material just doesn't fall over. When you wear a saree like this, obviously you just want to wear bangles in one hand or a watch on one hand and a very light jewellery set. Nice ring obviously on this finger. But I think, you know, if I really wanted to make my own lines show properly, and make myself look taller, then I think wearing it like this would be better. Wearing that long and like that, I think, to me is makes me look taller, but I don't know, it's just a matter of opinion, I guess. I don't recommend wearing your saree like this if you've got a really heavy border at the end. That's because, you know, you want to display it, so I recommend wearing it Gujarati way. Although, you know, it is on show this way, it just doesn't quite work, it gets too heavy. So I hope this tutorial was useful to you, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye!